Here it's the only value of the engineering degree I've used. Fix this thing right here. Mr. White.
Hello, Mr. Pary. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
I am doing awesome.
So tell these people your plan for becoming a millionaire.
Okay, awesome. So pretty much I own a company called Innovative Choice. It's a web design, graphic design, and digital marketing company. But what makes us special is pretty much we use growth hacking and lean startup tactics in order to make sure that your product is wanted by the masses. We see Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these amazing companies out of Silicon Valley use these tactics in order to make sure that people actually want their product and they're constantly innovating. So that's just the premise of what we are. I just met this guy 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, we literally just saw each other like at this coffee shop. Nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you. This is my best friend. Like,
wait, yeah.
We go way back.
We go, dude. 2 minutes, 3 minutes
bro.
way back. It's been a time.
Like, I know you guys like have friends at college, but it's nothing like this connection you have.
When you meet someone outside of college,
right?
That's when you do it. What are you reading right now? Like, what book is that about?
Reading Predictably Irrational. So it's a book about how to pretty much increase your sales using some psychology. Not too much. I'm not going to go in depth into it. It's my secret weapon.
How did you get into like your current business? Like, do you help Silicon Valley companies, or like what are you basing your model off of?
I'm basing my model off of them.
Okay.
I have had close to 10 clients. You're just doing the digital marketing web design.
Okay.
But we have one big client that we're actually incorporating all the strategy with right now. It's a 501(c)(3). Maybe I said that backwards, but we're using them as pretty much the guinea pig to help us improve everything and increase our metrics and increase theirs. I started in high school actually. In 9th grade year, I learned how to do web design and graphic design, and then I built my team to 2 people, me and a female, who still does graphic design to this day. She helps me out with a few products, but she's going out to do her own thing. What else? How else? And I just started reading like 16 books on the subject, and after I got
16 books.
16 books. It took me 3 months.
Listen,
get through that.
I commend you for reading. Usually, people don't read books anymore.
Yeah.
Which, please read books.
That's the secret.
Thank you. That is the absolute secret, because so when you watch like a tutorial as a video, that's one thing. Like when you read a book, whole other. It's like, so like, have you ever read the Harry Potter books?
No.
Well, that's a problem. But I've read the Harry Potter books and I've watched the movies. Listen, when you read the books, it's a whole other world. Like the movies will give you about 10%. Books give you 90.
Yeah.
So you can apply that same thing. Like if you're watching a video on how to do better social media networking, that's 10%. Reading a book, give you the 100. What's the biggest lesson that you've got from like how many books you read?
6. Well, I read.
I mean, not like in your life. Like about the subjects.
About the subjects, I've read close to 20, but I did 16 in those in a 3-month span in order to start my company and make sure everything was effective. But the one, like the biggest lesson I've learned is like everybody doesn't want your product. Like pretty much nobody gives a fuck about your business or your product. Like no one gives a shit. You have to make them give a shit, put it out there, and continuously innovate. If you're not continuously innovating, then stop doing like business. Period.
I think the biggest thing that like when you, because I started my own business and I actually sold it, and part of the reason I sold it was because I didn't want to really, like, it was worth more like selling the whole thing together than maintaining and like making money off of it, right? But that was investment. When it comes to like actually like having different like business diversity, it's not as if like if you have like some innovation in your like business that like your competitors aren't gonna say, oh well they got me now.
Yeah. No,
they're gonna do the same thing. So you have to do it better. And this is like the whole competition between businesses. Like that's how it never ends.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not as if like if you have like an athlete, right? And they just discover a new way to train. Every other athlete is not just gonna be like, oh they won.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna train the same way. It's like how are you like overcoming your competitors who are trying to do what you do?
Fuck competitors. So there's 2 things. There's like it's this analogy that one of my friends told me, and it like changed my life. The universe is like an escalator, and you're walking up it while it's going down. If you stand,
say that again.
The universe is like an escalator, right?
Okay.
And it's constantly going down, but you're trying to walk up it, right?
How's it going down?
Like, you know, escalators go one way. Like,
well, I know.
Up.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going up. If you stand still, if you like aren't innovating, then you are constantly like moving behind your competition.
Oh, okay.
If you're walking, it's a potential that you're just staying on pace and keeping up with everybody, but you have to work your ass off to run and like get in front of everybody, you know?
I should have waited and listened to the whole thing. That makes more sense.
It makes more sense. But the other thing about competition is they're giving you everything you need. All you have to do is research your competition. Learn how to like use what your competition is doing and how they're getting ahead of you in order to get ahead of them, because they make all the mistakes that you're gonna like make in the future. It's learning from them more so than it is like being scared of them.
Learn from the mistakes of others instead of making your own.
Exactly. That's what books are.
I mean, so contrary to what most people, we should get into the family a little bit more. He's escaping. They know what I look like. They want to know what you look like. Right. There's like when you're actually reading a book, what you're reading is like the whole like list of like experience that this person has. Like if you're in like it's like I read like Kevin Hart's book about comedy. You're reading his whole experience until where he is right now. Yep. That's a lot more valuable than just watching him on stage perform. Yeah. Like you're gonna get better at like, because like I'm a comedian, that's what I do. So I'm gonna get better at my craft by actually like reading how he got better. I'm not gonna get better just by watching him. Yeah. So this is, I can't stress that enough. You gotta read these books. So right now, like in your market sphere, who's your biggest competitor? That you know of. I mean, because like it's
that I know of.
But the reason I say that you know of is because like right now, if it's like just like in relation to comedy, I don't actually know who is like, you're not, as a comedian, I'm not really competing against like other comedians. It's more just like who gets the opportunity first. It's not, because like there's so many. There's no limited number of like movies. They make more every day. They make more commercials every day. They make more content every single day. Yeah. So it's not a question of like who can you like outpace. It's like who gets the better one. And that's the difference that I've noticed between like my business and entertainment. It's not so much as like how much content you put out. Yeah. It's where can you find like the best opportunities to release what you're doing.
To answer your question, I was very competitive in high school. And the thing
that's good.
made me not competitive is I found out that there's like 2 games in life.
2 what?
2 games in life.
Okay.
2 different ways to live, right? It's either the finite way or the infinite way. So those are 2 games you're playing. Okay. Either you're playing to win or you're playing to stay in the game.
Okay.
So the infinite game is constantly innovating yourself. Keep growing, keep learning, keep becoming better and better. The competition, either it's going to stay or going to fall, but you know that you're always going to be better every day, right? Yeah. And the finite game is, I'm trying to win, and that ends early. Mm-hmm. It ends before the game is done. You winning or losing ends before the game is done. It's like
you winning or losing ends before the game is done?
Yes.
What does that mean?
You're not staying in a game for a long enough time if you're focusing on winning or losing. That was Microsoft's problem. You know, Microsoft came up with the first tablet, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no one bought it. No one bought it because Apple was focusing on innovating itself and becoming a better company. Microsoft was focusing on competing.
Oh, okay, I got you.
They got out of the game before it started.
But they're still competing.
They're still competing, but I think it was really a mindset change. Because I feel like even though Apple and Microsoft are kind of competitors, they're no longer at each other's throats. Well, I don't think Apple was ever really at Microsoft's throats as much as Microsoft was at Apple's throat. You know? And it at the long run, it's fucked a couple of business ventures up, especially with the tablets. That's just like one example.
Most people actually don't know. Yeah, Bill Gates was the first one to come out with a Windows tablet. But
yeah.
I mean, just on the basis of technology. So the difference that like I've just noticed like working as like an engineer is like when it comes to certain companies, going based off that, so certain companies will just focus on making their own product better and not trying to like outpace another company. Yeah. So it's kind of like I think I know what you're trying to say, but I'm not trying to send a wrong message here. You should be competitive, but compete against yourself. Exactly. Don't compete against, like I'm not comparing myself to like Kevin Hart or Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. Like there's no point. So like, are you better than what you were yesterday? It's like, because if there's 365 days in a year. There's a lot of days. So if you can be better than you were yesterday, then like, but by the end of the whole year, holy crap, you are way better than you were than when you started. Right. But that's what I'm trying to do. Like, don't try to compete against the dude who's like in front of you. Try to compete against yourself and become a better version of you.
Yeah, it's like putting a cap on your greatness almost. If Goku versus Vegeta. That is how. Well, I should use that. Goku versus Vegeta is probably the best like analogy I can use. So
I hope everyone knows what that is.
Yeah, so,
I really hope so.
Vegeta, he was pretty much competing against Goku, right? Goku became a Saiyan. Vegeta's like, oh my god, I need to become a Saiyan, and he became a Saiyan too. But Goku was already, right, Super Saiyan, right? Well, sorry, Super Saiyan, right. But Goku became Super Saiyan 2 before like Vegeta can even touch that level, because he put a cap on his greatness. He put a cap of like how far he could go. You know, he could have been focusing on the next level and increasing them, like doing exactly what Goku was doing the whole time. Throughout the whole show, Goku didn't care about anything except becoming a better warrior. But
yeah, he was competing against himself, not against another person.
Exactly. It puts a cap on where you can go.
I think that's part of the reason why Apple's like doing like really well right now, because for example, if you look at an Apple product, they optimized the hell out of this thing. Yeah. I've actually opened one of these iPhones, and like I had an iPhone 4S, I built it from scrap parts on eBay. And this is what I noticed. So the actual processor and the actual components inside of an iPhone, they're overall weaker than what you have in a Galaxy, like Samsung Galaxy S2, S3, whatever. I don't buy Samsung products, but whatever they are right now. And like in a Windows computer, for example, if you look at a gaming like desktop, they have the latest everything, and it's incredible and it's powerful, and a Mac is faster. And the reason is because everything in this product is all integrated. Like Apple makes their everything, right? It's like they'll order like graphics cards, but then they'll make it Apple. They'll order processors, but they'll make them Apple. Whereas a Windows computer, you're buying third-party stuff from all over the place and you're putting it all into one. So you need more power to get even than you need to like optimize to get ahead. That's a lot of engineering parts. Basically what I'm trying to say is there's no point in looking to get better from other places, which is how Apple got ahead so quickly, and like they own the music market. Yeah. Apple owns music. Like no one goes anywhere to buy songs except for iTunes.
And Pixar.
No one goes to Pixar anymore.
I mean,
is that a thing still?
No, I'm talking about the whole like film.
I'm talking about Pixar. Pixar is actually also like it's an alternative like iTunes thing where you can actually buy music. There is a thing called Pixar.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
I heard about that.
I'm not talking about that. Never mind.
Most people don't know that Apple owns Pixar.
Yeah. Well, Steve Jobs made it, which was wild. I don't know. Does Apple technically own it? Steve Jobs made it.
I don't know if they still own it or not, but Steve Jobs is actually a huge like icon of mine. Like I don't know how do you get kicked out of your own company that you built and then you come back?
That's horrible. Like best story ever.
That is an incredible story, by the way. But I don't even want to imagine what that man had to go through to get to where he was.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more to be added to like how do you become a better version of yourself? Like, what do you think is as important as reading books? To me, it's like physical health. Do you think like that's as valuable or less valuable than mental health?
I think it's spiritual health more than anything.
Okay.
I just have the strong belief that you create your reality as a human being.
I agree.
And it's proven through like neuroscience and psychology and all those other.
Kanye West is in his own world.
Exactly. So if you
but it's working. I mean, like you can blame him all you want. He's a billionaire. So.
The best thing you can do for yourself is become as spiritual as possible and make sure that you have a steady belief that tells you can do whatever you want. That's the first thing you need to work on. And the stronger your spirit is, the more belief you have in yourself, the better you become over time. Everything will come.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
We should, okay, I'm gonna move this closer to you just so you can repeat exactly that, because that was incredible. Just say it one more time.
I forgot what I said.
Come on, that was such a great line.
So pretty much everything is based off your belief. Everything in your reality is based off your belief. The stronger the belief, the more it becomes real. The stronger you believe in yourself, the more emphasis that you put on like self-belief, the better you become and the more success comes to you. You know?
I think that's that was probably the best way of putting it. I'm trying to find a way of putting it into words, but you got it right there.
Yeah.
I think the first step of like getting anywhere, like you have to believe that you're a winner.
Exactly.
You can't have the mindset of like this is why I hate the word try.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I hate the word try is because you're leaving room for failure. Like if you just say I'll try this, if you fail at it, you can be like, well, at least I tried.
Yeah.
The word try means you are leaving room to fail. Like, don't do that. Just say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done.
Dude, and it's so crazy because you have absolute belief in like actually getting it done, then it happens and things just fall on your lap. The thing, so what's interesting to me, what I've been studying, I'm read this book called The Psychology of Phantom or something. So it's about phantom limbs. So when people get like their
what is
arms,
that? Oh,
so,
phantom limbs.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So when people get their arms cut up, they believe so hard that they
can still feel their,
exactly that their arm is still there, that it actually tricks their brain to like believing it, right? Or we can look at multi-personality disorder. People have so much belief that they are different people, that their diseases change, their allergies change, their personality changes, and everything else. If you can use, then those are just on like negative lights. If you can have absolute belief that you will become a millionaire or a billionaire in how much time or whatever, or like that you will succeed or accomplish something, if you have that strong of belief that you actually believe it, it comes to you all the time.
Yeah, you have to go into something knowing that you're a winner. Like you go into there knowing that you already won. There's a so I mean, I don't do. So there are people who I thought that everyone knew who Mike Tyson was. Mm-hmm. There are people who don't know who Mike Tyson is. I was like, what is going on? But there was a really cool documentary that was made on him, and like one of the biggest things, like, if you don't know who Mike Tyson is, come on. Okay, but for one thing, whatever, before he got into a boxing ring, his biggest thing was like, no, I'm going in there, and before I even get in there, I already won. Mm-hmm. Like that was his whole like he prepared more mentally than he did physically for a match. Yeah. Because that was the thing, like before I step in there, I already won. Yeah. But most people, they compete when they get onto the field, when they get into the ring, when they get on the court. No. Like you already have to win, and I can't really explain that to people in a way that they don't like. Once you experience it for yourself one time, it becomes really addicting.
That's the other thing. Confidence as well. Yeah. So
fake it till you make it.
It's even harder than that. So it's actual science behind it. So your brain is a receiver and a broadcaster. So any ideas or thoughts or energies that you have, you can literally broadcast it to other people.
Yeah, I've had an ex that broadcasted everything.
Exactly. Imagine you broadcasting to your opponent that I am going to win in such a confident light, like subconsciously, like just using your brain to do it, right? What do you think that does to their self-esteem? What do you think that does? Yes, it fucks them up, and it makes you win because of your the way you're broadcasting, like what you're broadcasting and how confident you are. It's amazing. Life is awesome. It's pretty cool.
Look, I'm just gonna end it at that. Life is awesome. Keep reading books. Keep growing. Compete with yourself. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Stay fresh. Stay gold.